going to enjoy navigation till I arrive then in the lagoon that is right on the other side of the lake. So on the right hand side, for the moment the right hand side will be better. On the right hand side we can start to see Grand Hotel Tremezzo. A new industry is arising, tourism. Now also bourgeoisie can move, but they do not have the money to buy a villa. So at the beginning of the century, the previous, hotels, Liberty style, have been built. And behind, you can see a peak. The name of this peak is Monte Crocione, the big cross. Because on the top, today is not so easy to see, but anyway, there is a white point, and this is a cross. That is, of course, the top of the village, as well as the border between Italy and Switzerland. And then, on the right hand side again, on the hill right here, you can see a big castle. The villa is like a castle. Villa Catapecchia, originally owned by a local archbishop, nowadays is owned by the cosmetic company Avon Cosmetics. The right hand side, you can see the gardens of Villa Maier. This is an Italian style garden, nowadays owned by the community, not anymore private, because the construction of the road we are driving, so the Italian garden style, it has been splitted. And so the family donated, including this beautiful stairway getting on the water. This now is a donation, and this area, the protected area, is to swim, because if in summer the people use this great place, monumental place, as a beach to splash in the water. And the church just there is St. Lawrence Church, that is the local parish. Chiesa di San Lorenzo. A little bit ahead now, we can see two villas. One is white, slightly behind, and then the grey one with the Italian flag in front. We passed before in front of it. The one behind is Villa Pirelli. I guess that you know the Italian company of tires, Pirelli. It has been bought by the son of the founder of the company, Leopold Pirelli. And the second one is Villa Sola. Sola is a branch of Italian royal family, the Savoy dynasty. So Villa Sola is it owned by one of the branch of the Italian kings, or let me say the Italian former royal family. On the right hand side, the white construction, the Cube, the first yacht club of the lake, dated back the 20s. And behind, you can see the Liberty-style castle of Villa Pessina. Villa Pessina, if you know the Italian company of motorcycles, Ducati motorcycle. Okay, the family Castiglioni, they are the owner of Ducati motorcycle, as well as the castle over there, Villa Pessina. Well, I don't know if you realized we saw enough Ferrari cars, Lamborghini cars. We saw also one Bugatti car. Bugatti car, the cost is generally €1.5 million, just to give you an idea of the kind of car. So I asked to Captain, Mr. Charles, the captain, with why this? Because the daughter of Mr. Lamborghini, she married yesterday here, and she had an event by a villa that we will pass beside. Villa Balbiano, we saw the gardens coming. When I say the very ancient, they dated back 1500. So she rented the house over there for a marriage. So that reason why there is this supercar exhibition. Right hand side, Villa Anderson from Scotland, importing wool from England and Scotland and exporting silks and making money. So this was a family coming from there. And the yellow house here, recently sold. This one has been sold for just 25 million. So why buy the house of Mr. Clooney? And so the property includes the big house, the garden with the historical trees, the yellow house here, that is the house of the servants, and the medieval church behind. So in the end, good business. The Countess Cervelloni sold, recently she died, and so the property, it has been sold. And in short, now we are going to enter within the Gulf. Its name is Venus Bay, dedicated to Greek goddess Venus. Because this village, it has been settled by Julius Caesar using citizens coming from Greeceland, especially from the Greek island of Lemnos. And so, the village behind, nowadays its name is Lemno, but the original name was Lemnos, like the name of the settlers of it. But then, of course, during the centuries, the sound Lemnos turned much more Italian, Lemno. Anyway, so the village of Lemno and the Gulf dedicated to Venus. And after the bay, now we are starting to navigate around a peninsula. The Albianello Peninsula split it into 3 different properties. The first one is the White House here, that seems small and simple, but it's not. This is Villa La Commedia, owned by the royal family of Monaco, Grimaldi-Casiraghi dynasty. right hand side you can see another nice property, and maybe somebody of you could recognize it because it has been also used for some Hollywood production. Maybe you can recognize the movie James Bond, Casino Royale, when he was injured and he fell in love to the girl, and but then the girl died and so on. Or maybe you can recognize the movie Star Wars, the second, the marriage, the scene of the marriage, it has been shooted over here. Qui Villa Balbianello, qui hanno fatto, se vi ricordate il film James Bond Casino Royale, quando lui è stato ferito, picchiato, eccetera, eccetera, poi la convalescenza la passa qua. O anche Star Wars, Guerra di Stelle, il secondo, e c'è il matrimonio. Prima era un monastero, si vede la chiesetta qua, che è la prima costruzione, poi il monastero è stato chiuso e durante i secoli differenti proprietari hanno aggiunto case, hanno fatto il giardino e tutto. I proprietari sono i proprietari della Rinascente, non so se siete già stati a spendere un po' di soldi alla Rinascente, ecco. So, as you can see from the church, this property, in the very beginning, it was a monastery, a very small monastery. Then the monastery, it had been closed and the property sold. And then during the century, the property changed hands, and every owners refurbished the garden, added different building connected with secret passages, every single building of the property. Nowadays is private. The owner of this company is Monzino family. If you have been to spend your money to La Rinascente department store, the elegant department store beside the Duomo Cathedral, well, so the last owners of this property is the family owners of the Rinascente. Nowadays can be rented for event, for party, for visit. So it means not this season but the previous one, because this season is practically a bit off wherever in the world. So when I say recent, means not this year but 2 years. But recently Barack Obama family with George Clooney family spent some time dining here. Sting had a private concert, but the table was not Sting, it was the people who rented Sting. So important that nobody still knows who are them. So a lot of people with a lot of money is to spend good time there. And this is the third property of the peninsula, the only property that can't be reached by road, but just by boat. This is the house of the fisherman, the sailorman, little bit ahead, the house of the garden keeper. And now we can see the main body of the property, Villa La Cassinella, an ancient farm completely refurbished. The owner of this property is the English billionaire Mr. Richard Branson, the owner of Virgin Air, Virgin Radio, Virgin Drinks, and so on. Questa casa è proprietà di Richard Branson, il proprietario delle linee aeree Virgin o della radio, Virgin Radio.
Berge, schöne Häuser. Ja. schön im Schiff zu fahren. Das Wasser.
So this house is dated back the 1600. Looks like the house of Mr. George Clooney because the style is the same, material used is the same. You see the roof in stones, so means that it's very ancient. This standing plastic, it has been probably settled for the aperitif of the event. And the garden is beside, it's not in front like the house of Mr. Clooney, but if not, it's almost the same. Villa Balbiano, dated back the 1600, and Villa Saibene, 1700. In this case, the one here with the curtain with the stripe. If you have ever been in Moscow and you've been to the GUM department store, the most prestigious department store in Moscow, the family owning the company over there, they are the owner of this villa, so from Russia, oligarch from Russia. And on the distance on the right hand side, you can see the strange shape of this bell tower, the orange and the yellow building. This is a medieval hospital as well as a medieval monastery. So this was, let's say, it's the hospital and the monastery of the area, serving the community who was living on the island. I already talked to you about the island that is over there, but now we are U-turning because we need to go on the other side of the lake to reach Bellagio. That will be our destination.